Hello and welcome to EV Focus Now, and today we're going to talk about the Mustang Mach-E and 3 improvements made by Ford to make this compelling EV even more compelling. Um, Thank you for watching today, and don't forget to hit the notification button and the subscribe button if you haven't already. I really appreciate all the people who have subscribed to the channel. I'm almost at 100 subscribers, which is fantastic. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoy doing this, and just basically, again, this is an opinion-based uh, YouTube show that I put on, just giving my opinions of EV information, news, and thoughts on different EVs. I really appreciate your comments and you guys listening and following along, so thank you very much. So again, we're going to talk about Ford recently just came out with 3 changes to improve, in my opinion, the Mustang Mach-E. Now, the Mustang Mach-E is I love the styling. It's an impressive SUV. I really love it. But there were some things that were, when it first came out back in April, I was like, they need to improve this, a little improve that, because those things matter to me. Now, they wouldn't matter to the common person leaving an ICE car to go to his EV, but me as being an electric driver, EV driver since 2014, from Teslas to Bolts to Leafs, and now even the new ID4, which I own. I'm very familiar and used to certain things and expect certain things, and certainly if a car doesn't have it, then I'm like, I wish it had this, or I wish it had that. Not a big deal, but it's definitely something that will make a difference when you buying a car or not. So Ford announced just in the last 2 weeks some changes. So one of the changes that they made was they added more range on the same battery, which is fantastic. So roughly, I think it's 3 to 4% more range was added to the same battery. They made it the battery more accessible. 33 to 4% of it more accessible. So basically, let's take the long range battery of the Ford Mustang Mach-E. It's a 98 kilowatt battery, okay, but all that wasn't usable. It was only 88 kilowatts usable. Now they've done some software tweaks where now 91 kilowatts of the battery is usable, which is fantastic. It's 3 to 4% more range, which is great. That's what you want. If you're getting a long range battery, that goes 300 miles, now you're going 320, 330, which is fantastic. That's great. I mean, I know before was being very cautious and conservative with their buffer. They want to make sure they want to protect your battery from yourself, basically, or people who are not familiar with batteries and charging 100% every day. They want to protect the battery. But now, after data and collecting information, they see they can release more of the usable battery capacity, which is fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that. Number 2, they improved the charging curve for long trips. So now the charging curve will hold longer until it drops off the cliff. So before, it would go 10% to 80%, relatively pretty fast, almost, holding it all the way up to 80, 70 kilowatts. And then when it gets to 80%, it would drop off a cliff down to 12% and take another 40 minutes to finish charging to 100% if you wanted to wait that long. Usually, you charge 10 to 80%, get on your way on the road, and then get to the next charging station. But now you can go all the way up to 90%. Again, this is Ford believing in their battery, understanding the data now, and knowing that it won't be damaged. And it's going to be a feature that they can activate, or you can activate for when you're taking long distance trips. It's not something you're going to use for daily driving. You don't need to charge at 90% every day for daily charging. So for long trips, though, it may be something in the menu or something you can activate on the screen to let the car charge faster, at least up to 65 or higher percent, of kilowatts anyway, up to 90%. Then it will drop off a cliff down to 12%. Which by that time, if you're up to 90% state of charge, just take off and go to your next charging station. You're wasting time trying to get the extra 10%. Doesn't make sense unless you're home charging, of course. So that's fantastic news. Those 2 things alone are huge things to me. They mean a lot to me. Range and how fast is the charging curve. Those are the 2 most important things that I look at when buying an EV. Of course, how big the vehicle is and how much it costs also are factors, but those 2 things before are just very important. And as if you're listening to this YouTube channel right here, you understand. You probably have driven electric cars, own electric cars, so you understand that. But for those who are new to this and have new to EVs or haven't bought an EV yet or are considering to buy an EV, you'll understand that charging curve and it's probably the most important thing, and then battery capacity is the second most important thing, because you can have a smaller battery and the charging curve is fantastic, so you're charging real fast anyway, and it doesn't matter your battery's not exactly 90 kilowatt battery, maybe it's 77 kilowatts, but it charges so fast that it doesn't matter. You're retaining that energy back in quickly on long distance trips. But with this battery, the buffer on the Ford was so big, I was like, wow, they're leaving a lot that you can't access. But now they're making it more accessible, which is fantastic, because you're paying for that battery and you'll be able to use more of it, especially really on long distance trips. That's what I'm talking about. 400, 500 mile trips, it really matters. So I'm really happy to hear that. Number 3 is basically more options now they're adding. They're adding more options like the hands-free driver assistance that Ford has, where it's not autopilot or super. Well, it's like Super Cruise, but not like autopilot, where basically you look straight, you let go of the wheel, and it will track your eye movements. So it's LiDAR mapping, so it's not available on every road, but certain roads are mapped out where you can do this through the interstates, and they're activating that, I think, in the next month or so, or have activated it. They're also giving you more colors to choose from in 2022. Which is fantastic, because there's so many EVs out there. It's nice if you got more colors to choose from. Sometimes I think it's a cost factor for manufacturers to do that, but it's nice to have that with some of the brilliant blue that they have in that Mustang Mach-E. Is fantastic. It's a beautiful color. But in the world of Tesla, where basically you see white Teslas, black Teslas, blue Teslas, and that's it. We really don't offer a lot of color options unless you're going to wrap the car, which a lot of people wrap the car and doesn't matter. But they used to offer a nice silver back in 2017 when the Model 3 came out, but they stopped that too. So now there's so many Teslas out there, it's nice to be able to have more colors if you could, to make yours a little more distinguished or stand out from other cars. But that's Tesla. But of course, Mustang offering more colors is fantastic. I think that's a great thing. In addition to that, one of the things that I believe that you also get, now this is not confirmed by Ford, but I was at the Ford dealership and I asked the salesperson, I said, look, if I was to buy this, can I option for bigger wheels? Because they're kind of skinny wheels on the base Mach-E. And he said, yeah, we can put bigger wheels on there for you. We can definitely put that on, and of course they're gonna charge you for it like an option. So I think it's a dealer option, not an option from Ford. So let me just be clear on that. I don't know if that's something from Ford, but that's something that this dealer will do. I think it's a $1,500 or $1,600 package to put bigger tires on there. So that's nice to know if you wanted a little more aggressive look. But the main thing, I noticed when I went to dealer, the main thing I still see that's holding back the Mustang Mach-E from being more compelling is the dealerships. They're marking these Mustang Mach-E's $8,000 to $10,000 over MSRP, which makes other competitor EVs more appealing to me. I mean, if you're going to market up that much, you're killing yourself. That's one thing about the Tesla model, that hey, the price is the price. We're not marking it up, but these individual dealers are marking it up, and they're making the car less affordable when it should be right in line with the competitors. I'm waiting probably till 2022 to replace my other vehicle next year, and with the changes of the Mustang Mach-E, I am definitely considering that as an option, along with the Ioniq 5 and the Kia EV6. All of those are very compelling vehicles. I need to definitely see the Kia and Ioniq in person, test drive them, but the Mustang Mach-E is back into that conversation now with these changes, so I'm very happy to hear that, because it is a very nice car and a huge front trunk. Nobody but Tesla can even compete with that side of the trunk, which is fantastic. If you like using the front trunk, definitely comes in handy on road trips, I will say that. Anyway, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, notification button, to stay on top of all my new videos. And again, when it comes to EVs, continue to stay focused. Bye-bye.